According to the National Electrical Code, using one underground conduit to carry branch circuit feeds from multiple units to a garage is permissible under specific conditions. It is crucial to understand the relevant sections of the National Electrical Code to ensure compliance and address any objections from local inspectors. Article 300.5 Kern of the National Electrical Code states that in residential occupancies having more than one dwelling unit, branch circuits shall supply each unit as a separate electrical system. Additionally, Article 300.5 C2 specifies that each dwelling unit shall be supplied by a separate service. These sections emphasize the segregation of electrical systems for each dwelling unit to ensure safety and prevent interference between units. Article 300.7b of the National Electrical Code addresses the installation of conductors of two or more branch circuits within the same raceway. It explicitly states that conductors of two or more branch circuits shall not be contained within the same raceway unless the conductors are installed in a raceway approved for more than one branch circuit. This requirement ensures that the raceway is designed and rated to handle the combined load and potential heat generated by multiple circuits. It further states that the allowable ampacity determined by Section 310.15 shall apply to the minimum conductor size in each raceway. This means that the conductors must be sized appropriately to handle the anticipated current load, considering factors such as ambient temperature and the number of current-carrying conductors in the raceway. The key requirement is that the conduit used to carry the branch circuit feeds from the units must be approved for more than one branch circuit. This approval ensures that the conduit is designed to handle the combined load and potential heat generated by multiple circuits without compromising safety. Additionally, the minimum conductor size in each conduit must be in accordance with Section 310.15 of the National Electrical Code. This section provides detailed guidelines for determining the appropriate conductor size based on factors such as ampacity, temperature rating, and the number of current-carrying conductors in the raceway. A local inspector might object to the use of a single conduit, interpreting the National Electrical Code requirements to mean that each branch circuit feed must be in a separate conduit. Some inspectors may believe that separating each branch circuit into its own conduit is a safer practice, minimizing the risk of interference or overheating. However, the National Electrical Code does not explicitly require this separation. The National Electrical Code only mandates that the conduits be approved for more than one branch circuit and that the minimum conductor size in each conduit be in accordance with Section 310.15. Therefore, if the conduit is approved for multiple branch circuits and the conductors are sized correctly, the use of a single conduit is permissible. To address an inspector's objection, it is important to provide documentation and evidence demonstrating compliance with the National Electrical Code requirements. This may include product specifications for the conduit, showing that it is approved for multiple branch circuits, as well as calculations demonstrating that the conductor sizes meet the requirements of Section 310.15. It can be helpful to have a copy of the relevant sections of the National Electrical Code available to reference during the discussion. Providing a clear and concise explanation of how the installation meets the code requirements can help to alleviate the inspector's concerns and gain approval for the project. It is also important to maintain a respectful and professional demeanor during the discussion, as the inspector is ultimately responsible for ensuring the safety and compliance of the electrical installation. Based on the National Electrical Code requirements, it is permissible to use one underground conduit to carry the branch circuit feeds from multiple units to the garage, provided that certain conditions are met. Firstly, the conduits must be approved for more than one branch circuit. This means that the conduit must be designed and rated to handle the combined load and potential heat generated by multiple circuits. Secondly, the minimum conductor size in each conduit must be in accordance with Section 310.15 of the National Electrical Code. This section provides detailed guidelines for determining the appropriate conductor size based on factors such as ampacity, temperature rating, and the number of current-carrying conductors in the raceway. It is important to ensure that the conductors are sized correctly to prevent overheating and ensure the safe operation of the electrical system. For example, Section 310.15 of the National Electrical Code addresses the ampacity of conductors. It states that the ampacity of a conductor shall be determined by the allowable ampacity tables in this section, subject to the provisions of 310.15b2 through 7. These tables provide the maximum current that a conductor can carry safely based on its size, insulation type, and ambient temperature. Additionally, Section 310.15b2 addresses the adjustment factors for ambient temperature. It states that where the ambient temperature is other than 30 degrees Celsius, the allowable ampacities of conductors shall be adjusted in accordance with Table 310.15b2. This table provides adjustment factors for different temperature ranges, which must be applied to the ampacity values in the tables in 310.15b. Furthermore, Section 310.15b3 addresses the adjustment factors for the number of current-carrying conductors in a raceway or cable. It states that where the number of current-carrying conductors in a raceway or cable exceeds 3, the allowable ampacities of conductors shall be reduced as shown in Table 310.15b3. This table provides adjustment factors for different numbers of conductors, which must be applied to the ampacity values in the tables in 310.15b. To determine the appropriate conductor size for a given application, it is necessary to consider all of these factors and apply the appropriate adjustment factors. For example, if a conduit contains 6 current-carrying conductors and the ambient temperature is 40 degrees Celsius, the ampacity of the conductors must be adjusted for both the number of conductors and the ambient temperature. This can be a complex calculation, and it is important to consult the National Electrical Code and other relevant resources to ensure that the conductors are sized correctly. In addition to the requirements for conduit approval and conductor sizing, there are other factors that should be considered when using a single conduit for multiple branch circuits. Firstly, it is important to ensure that the conduit is properly installed and supported. This includes using the correct type of fittings and supports, and ensuring that the conduit is securely fastened to the building structure. Secondly, it is important to ensure that the conductors are properly insulated and protected from physical damage. This includes using conductors with the correct insulation type for the application, and protecting the conductors from abrasion and other potential hazards. Thirdly, it is important to ensure that the conduit is properly grounded. This helps to prevent electrical shock hazards and ensure the safe operation of the electrical system. Grounding can be achieved by connecting the conduit to a grounding electrode system, such as a ground rod or a metal water pipe. It is also important to ensure that all electrical connections are made properly and securely. This includes using the correct type of connectors and terminals, and ensuring that all connections are tightened to the proper torque. Loose or corroded connections can cause overheating and other problems, and can even lead to electrical fires. Furthermore, it is important to label all circuits and equipment clearly and accurately. This helps to prevent confusion and ensures that the correct circuits are energized when performing maintenance or repairs. Labeling should include the circuit number, the voltage, and the load served by the circuit. In summary, using one underground conduit to carry branch circuit feeds from multiple units to a garage is permissible under the National Electrical Code, provided that certain conditions are met. These conditions include ensuring that the conduits are approved for more than one branch circuit, that the minimum conductor size in each conduit is in accordance with Section 310.15 of the National Electrical Code, and that all other applicable requirements of the National Electrical Code are followed. It is important to consult the National Electrical Code and other relevant resources to ensure that the installation is safe and compliant. When dealing with electrical installations, safety should always be the top priority. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others from harm. This includes wearing appropriate personal protective equipment such as gloves and safety glasses, and following all applicable safety procedures. If you are not comfortable performing electrical work yourself, it is best to hire a qualified electrician. A qualified electrician has the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform electrical work safely and correctly. They can also ensure that the installation meets all applicable codes and regulations. Attempting to perform electrical work without the proper training and experience can be dangerous and can lead to serious injury or even death. In addition to safety, it is also important to consider the long-term performance and reliability of the electrical system. A well-designed and properly installed electrical system can provide years of trouble-free service. However, a poorly designed or improperly installed electrical system can be a source of ongoing problems and can eventually fail, requiring costly repairs. Therefore, it is important to invest in high-quality materials and workmanship, and to follow all applicable codes and regulations. This will help to ensure that the electrical system is safe, reliable, and efficient. In conclusion, while the National Electrical Code allows for multiple branch circuits within a single conduit under specific conditions, careful attention to detail and adherence to all applicable codes and regulations are essential to ensure a safe and reliable electrical installation. When the conductors are installed in a raceway, it must be approved for more than one branch circuit. The allowable ampacity determined by Section 310.15 applies to the minimum conductor size in each raceway.